I feel for you. Buying a smartphone is complicated. You never feel like you really got the right one. I mean, I work at CNET for crying out loud, and every time I buy a new phone, I feel kind of sick. I'm Brian Cooley with top 5 things to think about when buying a new smartphone. Inspired by a survey done by Business Intelligence, they asked people what their #1 smartphone buying factor was. At number 5, we're starting off a little wonky. It's data migration. Now, just 3.9% of folks said this is their #1 concern, but I think more should have. I mean, how are you going to move your contacts, calendar, media, photos, messaging, history, account settings from whatever you carry now to your new smartphone? Well, check CNET TV and Google around for tips on how to move your stuff from phone to phone. It's different and sometimes barely possible depending on the combo of phones in question. And pack a lunch. You may end up doing it several times before it gets done right. Number 4, 7.2% of you said carrier. Does the carrier you want offer the phone you want? Now, it'd be pretty damn frustrating if you lived in Illinois and wanted to buy a Honda Accord, but they only worked on roads in Wisconsin. Sure, you could move, but is it worth it? That's kind of the situation with phones. So as much as I hate to give the carriers that much power in my life or yours, that might be where you want to start your search. Number 3, surprisingly, is app selection. I say surprisingly because just over 8% of you said this is the top priority, but there's all that hype around apps. Much of what makes a smartphone smart are the apps you load on it. But clearly a lot of folks remember that the web, which all smartphones access, is kind of the ultimate app. And oh yeah, call quality still ranks higher than Angry Birds. Well, for now. Number 2, now we get into some big numbers, is features. 33% of you said this is your #1 concern area. This is stuff like screen resolution, battery life, keyboard type, the cameras, the storage, does it support flash? But don't fall for the spec arms race. Is an 8-megapixel camera meaningfully better to you than 5 megapixels? Do you even know? Or do you just want to brag? Can you really see that extra bajillion dots of screen resolution, or is a really good screen really good? Read our reviews because we tell you what specs make a real difference, and so do the users who chime in as well. Before I get you to the #1 thing people cite as their main reason to choose a smartphone, let's look at the one that ranked bottom of the list. Price. Just 3% said price is their biggest concern. That's because price is pretty irrelevant right now. The sweet spot for all the top smartphones is $200 with a 2-year activation. A few of them are $100, a few are $250, maybe $300, but not for long. Expect to pay 2 bills, period. It's the full cost of your 2-year contract you want to scrutinize. That's where you'll spend anywhere from a couple grand to $2,400 to pushing $3,000. Okay, what's the #1 thing most often cited by people buying a smartphone? Their top concern. 38% say platform. Android, iOS, BlackBerry, Windows Phone, WebOS. Phones have made operating systems hot and crucial again. The operating system the phone runs on dictates what it's good at in many cases, and how the interface looks and feels. The stuff you have to look at and navigate every time you pick up the phone, so you better like it. And platform also determines which tech jihad you've just signed up with, which fanboys will diss you, and the comments your smug techie friends will make behind your back. So you see, a lot rides on platform. Okay, hope all this has helped, and remember, relax. Whatever you get, something better comes out next week. For more Top 5s like this, go to top5.cnet.com. I'm Brian Cooley. Thanks for watching.